is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a great day. Recently, I had the chance to pull the trigger on a deal that I ended up not doing, and it's funny because I'm kind of going back and forth between kicking myself for not doing it and glad that I didn't do it. It's for a number of reasons, but the main one is the available cash at hand. It's no secret that I've been working on my cash flow and making sure that that's, a lot better, because obviously with this business, you have to have cash flow to do anything on a regular basis. And we had a deal that I almost pulled the trigger on, and I decided not to because there was too many things negatively that may have gone on. And I wanted to talk about that today because there are always going to be deals out there that you can get. Maybe some are smaller than others, some are bigger than others, but there's a fine line between taking a chance and putting yourself too far in the hole that you can't do other things, or it could be a negative consequence for you or your business. So we're going to talk about that today. But before we do, if you do not know who I am, my name is Bronzgod, and I sell trading cards on Tcgplayer and eBay. We've been averaging about $40,000 a year in sales, mostly in bulk, but we are looking to ramp that up in the back half of the year. In addition, we do have two other channels that we'll be posting on very soon. One is my weight loss journey, and one is some casual video gaming. So if either of those interest you, there are the links will be in the description below. Also, we do have an affiliate code for Mox Alpha. Mox Alpha is a site that allows you to find the EV of sealed product for Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, etc. to see if it's worth breaking down to sell singles, maybe make a little cash. So check that out. If you do, you'll save a little money. I'll make a little money, and then we keep on going. So the deal. So guy on Facebook Marketplace, he had a bunch of singles, nothing crazy, but they were all in like the $2 to $10, $2 to $20 range. And it was right about $1,300, $1,400 after the percentage, which was going to be on par for the largest collection that I bought, which, large is in the eye of the beholder. I know there's people out there that buy $5, $10, $15,000 collections. I'm just now getting into buying collections, and it would have been a good one to get. However, I have a lot of my capital deployed in the Foundations Jumpstart box things that I was doing, which some of that's coming back, but I haven't gotten paid for it yet. I did do a collection about 2 weeks ago where it was about $2,000 that I'm still kind of getting through, which is another thing is when you're buying collections and stuff, if you're not going through it fast, or getting the bigger stuff listed first to get most of your money back, you're going to start having cash flow issues, which, I've had a nice little growing experience in that myself. So you have to be aware of those types of situations. But it was a decent collection. And between all the things I have in the process, money I've spent on bulk recently that I got to sift through, the decision was either sell some other stuff at a loss to get it, thinking that I could possibly be making more, or skip it. And the completionist in me, the guy that wants to have everything, it was really hard for me to say no, but I ended up passing. And now I did pass that lead on to a friend who ended up picking it up, and I got a little bit of a olive branch on the back end for kind of hooking him up with the deal. But it was okay because, you don't want to spread yourself too thin, but also you want to be able to take advantage of many of these opportunities as possible. And I was starting to get really, I don't want to say down on myself, but I was talking to a friend of mine who owns a store about the lengths I was about to go through to acquire these cards. And it was probably a little bit easier for him to come to this conclusion, but he was just like, Carmine, amen. I'm glad you didn't go through with it. I know you wanted them, but there's always going to be other deals out there. Don't break your back for just one. And I'm not going to lie, I didn't really agree with that at first, especially since I've been so staunch in my opinion of just like literally always be buying. But that's just another spot where I got to learn to change, and that's okay. Once I have better cash flow and I have more cash on hand, then obviously this problem will become less and less. But I think I underestimate, and you may underestimate, how easy it is to spend money in this business and hobby. I mean, I've bought bulk before. I've bought a couple $100 worth of bulk, $100 worth of bulk, $200 worth of bulk. But now that I've bought one or two collections, it seems like at any point and any day I can just go on Facebook or go on various other sites, and there's just collections galore that you can buy. You obviously have to be a little selective. Sometimes you got to vet the people that you're buying from, but it's true. There are pretty much any endless amounts of places that you can go to buy cards, and it's easy to get into the trap of like, ooh, like just like boom, boom, just grabbing all over the place. So it's important that when you get into those spots, because it's something that you really want, to just take a step back and take a breath. Now, if you still go through with buying that collection, fine. Or if you still go through buying that bulk or buying whatever it is, it's okay. But I know myself that when I really get fixated on something that I want, I will usually go to some pretty severe lengths to get it, even if it comes at the cost of myself. Now, the caveat to that is with this hobby, if you do overspend, it's usually pretty easy to get your money back. Like, just as I was mentioning with buying collections, it's pretty much an automatic that you're gonna be able to find someone to sell a collection to. Obviously, you might take a little bit of a hit. So that's where you kind of have to gauge the danger of reselling something you just picked up at a loss or to break even in order to get money back if you're in a jam. All these ETBs behind me, the master sets that I have, those things all have decent cards in them. And I'm probably, not going to get rid of them for a long time. But if the time comes where, my car blows up or if a really good deal comes by, I might go to those for some trade fodder or, who knows? There's endless possibilities. So it's important that when deals come by, you really just take a pause and you kind of evaluate. Cash flow is another big part of this. I already mentioned a little bit ago in the beginning of the video, but if you don't have a good cash flow, you're going to have a hard time because it's instead of having a nice, cyclical thing, you're going to have a start, stop, where it's going to be hard to get things done on a consistent level. And like I said, I've learned that the hard way. I've definitely been a stop person for the most part because I would buy bulk and it would take me so long to process it because I was listing everything that it would take a while for me to get my money back. Now, in this weather that we're in of cards ended up being a good thing in disguise because I was holding on all this stuff and now a lot of it's kind of gone up, even with bulk stuff. But it's something that you have to be aware of. So if you do have a deal that you want to get, but you're going to be stretched a little too thin, that money that you're spending now, who knows what else is going to come up, like if you wait next week, there could be even a better deal for less money. There could be multiple small deals. There could be someone who'd be willing to do like a half and half, like a collection that's $3,000 or $4,000. You pay half up front, pay half later. Or if you have a good rapport with something else could be worked out. There's so many permutations of ways that deals can be doctored up that if you don't have the available cash at hand, you're not gonna be able to do that. So, just be mindful of where you are in your business and where you are in your bank account, because the last thing you want to do is implode yourself, which I think anybody in this hobby or space has probably gotten close to doing or done in the past. I know I have. I've hit zero in the bank account a couple times, knowing that this deal is just, I can't pass it up. And even though I ended up doing good on it, the unnecessary stress of, oh shoot, I don't have any money and there's no safety net and I really don't want to sell all the stuff that I just picked up, but I might have to. You start going through that like daisy chain of what ifs. And, there's risk inherently baked into everything we're doing. But sometimes it's worth it to not impose that risk and impose those worries on yourself if you don't have to. It's okay to just like pump the brakes a little bit and take it easy and pick your spots for when you want to go hard. It's definitely hard to do. Like I said before, there's lots of shiny things all over the place and everybody wants it all. I want it all. But sometimes it takes a lot of self-growth to acknowledge that sometimes it's okay to say no and deal with what you have first. I mean, I haven't even, of all my backlog, I think I've made it through like 5% of it. So even me, with the unboxings that I do and some of the other stuff I do, I probably should be slowing down on those. But I gave myself a threshold, which you may too, is when I get to X number of dollars in my account, then I got to stop buying at that point and start making sure I move some of this stuff. That way I have a buffer of if something does come up, I can still buy it, but also I don't feel so under the gun that I don't have any money. And if someone else has a suggestion on there to do it differently, I'm all ears. And if you have any suggestions on how you handle things or any of your experiences, I would love to hear it. And I'm sure other people would in the comments, so make sure you leave a comment down below. I'm actually going to a card show this weekend. I don't have a terrible amount of cash. I have a little bit. I made some posts about I'll be there buying bulk, and I'll have some bulk opportunities up there. But I'm going to try hard not to go too crazy, especially for myself, because I still like buying things for myself, and I'm trying hard not to. I give myself a small allotment, not business money. I give myself like $20 a week of my expendable income to just buy singles for master sets, and I know I should probably put that towards my business so that way I can have more stuff to buy. But like I said, I kind of treat this stuff back here as stuff to enjoy, and then if I need it, pull it out. So it technically is like pseudo business, pseudo personal. But ultimately, you'll find your way. You'll find what works best for you. Just be cognizant of the fact that there's always going to be another deal out there, and don't have to break yourself in order to succeed. So I appreciate you guys very much. Thanks for sticking around, and hope you have a good day.